Okay, so that's going to just be on now because that's how it is. It can be that way. And I will be going live very shortly because I'm on a stream. Right, so that's one there as well. Get in there. Go. Okay, well then. So this morning, as you can maybe see, I was a little not ready despite a number of things. So I am drying my hair, but that's not a problem. Hair will still be there, obviously, but it will not be dry for a while. There's things happening to my phone, but not on my phone. So I have a computer and a phone for the live stream. I will not say much now for a little bit, just because you realize that live streaming does need lots of, does mean that you wait a little bit for other people to come, but you can't wait that long because then everyone goes. So there's a few problems with it, especially at 11, but that's not your fault, even though it might feel like it. I'll tuck that in there. So here we have it. Just to be drying my hair for a little while before we start with everything. If you have been on this before, you will know that this is my live stream show, which is about you asking me questions that you'd like to know the answer to, and me answering the question, but sometimes not fully, but that's just to do with a series of problems which I had, and that's nothing to do with you again, but now it's possibly time to get ready at least for it, and then we can get this thing on the move. So, as I said before, there were a couple of questions from a couple of streams ago, which I didn't get to, which I will be able to answer today. Okay. Pardon me for that. It appears that things will not be cooperating today, but that's, again, not your fault, and that's a different thing. I will say that I did wake up at 7:53 this morning for various reasons to do with me, and but very shortly after that I did go back to sleep for at least 20, maybe even a half hour. So that's what happened to me, and then I did have my breakfast after that, and I did do my exercise after that. So there's no need to worry, but it feels like there is a little devil in my ear today, trying to scream for help or scream for something else. So that's what that is. That's just how it has to be. A little bit late now to be getting into the questions that you dear have sent me. It's time for that. So, to get started, we do have some questions from last week which I didn't get around to, which we'll have to get on with. So, because we are 6 minutes in now and there are some questions, so there aren't much time to be getting on with it. So that's one thing to start thinking about if you are thinking about that. If you do want to ask a question, pop it in the meter, pop it in the meal, pop it in the bar at the bottom, or the side, whichever one you're on. On YouTube, looks to me like it's at the side. It could be, and the Instagram questions go right into the bottom of the bar. So to be on with it, to begin with it, from last week, some questions we didn't get onto. We have a question from Threestigmata, which says, "What is it?" I don't exactly know what the "what" is in that question sentence, but it is in there, so I do have to address it. What is it? It could be that he was referring to this stream, or it could be that he was referring to his phone. What is it? And maybe that was a surprise to him. He didn't mean to ask that question. But in that case, we will have to say that it is just a really interesting show where I get to answer some of your lovely questions and your lovely faces I get to not see, but certainly hear from, if there is anything on your mind. So that's for a question from Threestigmata. Matter. What is it? And that one I answered pretty well, I think. We have a question from Eleanor Shigarowski again. Will you marry me? I am not married, and I will not be married in the foreseeable future, but yes. There's a little bit of fun there for everyone. This one is from. That was a lovely question. Bit of a joke question. Do not appreciate people making fun of me, but it was very fun to answer. So that's fair. We have one from George Bodades. This is funny. The name with the Z in. You don't see a lot of names with Z in. Certainly this year. They are rarer than some. Think about the letters of the alphabet which I use more. I think of M, I think of D, I think of T. These are letters that I think people use. Ones that I don't think anyone really uses very much are the cross, X one, the Z, the Q letter is not often very used because there are certain rules to do with that one, which we won't go into now. If you haven't, so this is a question from Bodedez with a Z. If you hadn't become your lifestyle advocate you are, what would you be? And I do think back to certain things from my childhood of thinking, what did I want to be? I would stand in the line at school and everyone would be thinking, what do I want to be? Some people would choose astronaut. Some people would choose feminist. Some people would choose writing the instruction manual. Some people would be designing bottles. Thinking of that, so that their dream would be that way for it to come true. So that is what a lot of the children at my school would do when I was a child. And things have changed a lot since then. Now people are thinking maybe I want to be a bird or a plane or a pilot or a sky color at night, or a sunset, and a rap star, and that's, I think, has changed since I was a child. People would be more about bottle design back when I was small, or the other things that I did mention, astronaut, feminist. But for me, it was always acting and trying to act and acting a certain way, acting silly sometimes, being in school and knowing that school was not the be-all and end-all of how life could be. School was just another stepping stone in the gears of life. And I think I had an idea back then that life was something that you could do well, and I was interested to be an actor, to be a man in the way that I wanted to be, and to be all the different kind of men. I could also be a feminist astronaut or a bottle design man. All of those were available to me as an actor, so I did see that one to be the best way. And getting into, and then it wasn't long before I realized that lifestyle was an important style to choose to get into. Lifestyle is maybe one of the most important advocacies that you can choose. At the end of the day, we all have a lifestyle, we all have a style, and we all have a life. Some people, it means getting up very early, taking lots of vitamins. And some people, it means building a chimney. But you should always make sure you know, should know that you know what your style is, and do it very well. Yeah. So that was a lovely question, and it made me quite sad a little bit to remember being a child at school, but also quite felt a bit well-rounded. So I will go on to another one now. This one is a question from Shubaru on Instagram, and it says, favorite style? With a question mark. I think that's an interesting question for several reasons. 2 reasons, maybe even 3 reasons, which I'll get into. The first reason that I think favorite style is a good question. is because it does make it very obvious that not every style is for everyone. There are some styles that I know of that people have tried and haven't quite gotten on with, which is some people have tried to do plant style before, and that does not entirely work for everyone. Because when you do plant style, you do have to get into nature style, and nature style does involve being muddy, gross, involves being in touch with the ground, and if you can't bend down very far, then you do have trouble getting on with plant style, nature style. So that's one that is takes a lot to be in with. So if you're not in with the way of a certain style, then it will get up on your nerves, cause you a bit of grief. So that's what it's like to be involved with plant style. The second reason that I think favorite style is a good question is because it makes you aware that you can have many styles, but one style will always win and be on top of your list. There's always one style which gets chosen to be what I would like to call prime style. So you might have fit style. You might have chill style, and you might have quite a nice laugh style. So this is quite a nice combo. Chill style, fit style, and laugh style does make you very charming, very tight. It makes you very quite heavy, but in a good way. And so that combo, it can be a lot to take in when you see someone and get doing all three of those. So it's good to question them with this question: favorite style, because they then have to reflect, get a quiet moment, get several pocket mirrors, have a look, and have a good old look to see which bit of their style is their favorite bit. And you can ask several more questions on that topic and get different answers. Favorite style for the evening, you can choose, and that might be fit style. So that means they'll have to change their day pattern, go running in the evening, in the night time, lifting weights and such. And that's how you can edit and subtract your style to make it sit or fit with you. So favorite style for me is probably I've never really thought. I have thought about it, and I do think about it. So I think what I would say my favorite style feels almost like I've forgotten some of my styles. Safe style is my favorite one, because that is one way to not get danger or hurt or damaged in any way. it is the safest of ways to go, if you think of it that way. So I think that's probably one of the better questions, and maybe even one of the better answers from today. So that does wrap up the questions from last week, and we move on to another batch of questions. Could be that we are never really getting on with it, getting up to speed with it. So not a problem. It does mean we'll never be able to finish what it is. So the next question is from Memory Bunk BNK. What do you do to keep your mustache hot dang? Which is a good question. I do know what it means. So I will answer it clearly and softly. I do have a mustache, and it's nice of you to have noticed. Nobody really mentions it because of fear of repercussions or things like that, sounding a certain way. But now you've asked it, and I have a way of answering it, because I did prepare that, and the best way is to what do you do to it, is what he asks. What do you do to keep your mustache hot dang? And it's very nice for you to say it's hot dang. It's very nice for you to believe that. And I just have a simple way of doing it, which is to shave the rest of my face off, and I keep that bit on. Again, we have another question from Georgia Bodedez with a Z. Can you predict the future? I think that's a very interesting question. I have been able to predict the future before. If you do remember jeggings, I said to a friend of mine in 2016 that I thought jeggings would be big. So there are senses that I am on top of style, I am around style, and that's just because of the lifestyle I lead. I just seem to tend to know what is coming up, what is going down. 2016, 17, I think I said jeggings will be everywhere. You won't be able to see for jeggings. You won't be able to know anything else on legs. So that is one time that I did a pretty good future spin idea, which came to be the way it was. With jeggings, 2016, 17, 18, I was saying to a lot of my friends, these will be the way that people do legs from now on, do legs clothes. So there we have it. One of the best. We have another question here from, sorry to block. We have a question to go into now, which is From the Sarah Blank, friend of the show, friend of the show. Responsible for the folding clothes video, which I did, which I would like to do another one of, because some of you have been asking for that, to see there are different types of clothes which I didn't fold, so we will be getting onto that. So, favorite word to spell. Favorite word to spell is the question from the Sarah Blank. Favorite word to spell. Now, I did do a video on spelling a while ago, one of the first videos, and spelling can become my favorite thing to do if it is done properly and if it's done with a certain expedient way about it. So if you think about the word bottle, for instance, and you want to spell it, but you do want to do that quickly, then it has to be done very quickly and a bit quietly, which is to go B-O-T-T-L-E. And that wasn't the quietest I could do it. I could do it even quieter, but I did do it very quickly, so you can't get up in arms about that. So I wouldn't say that's my favorite word to spell, but it is one that I do very well. I think my favorite word to spell could be possibly spatula, because I like how the U is in the middle, directly in the middle. The A is at the end completely. And I like that it has one spat bit at the beginning, spat. And so I can spell it, and I will spell it, and I'll spell it now. If we get a countdown. Right, so I have to do that. 3, 2, 1. S-P-A-T-E-L-A-U. Many apologies for coughing there. It is COVID year, so I did have to do it off screen so that I don't encourage that kind of stuff to happen anywhere else. Nobody else gets to get any wise ideas. So that, I hope, answers your question, and I hope it demonstrates something to you which you didn't have before. Another question from the Sarah Blank, friend of the show, who was responsible for the folding clothes video, which we did, and we'll be doing again. If there is anything you would like to spell, no, if you would like to fold, then do get in touch. We do have a question on the Instagram from Piman Posset, friend of the show, who says, what will we be wearing this time next year? And that's a good question. I just have to answer it. I think we will be wearing, there will be a big surge in animal printed jumpers. Kind of wolves and eagles, sparrows, all these kind of animals, lizards maybe, leaf crickets, all of these on regular jersey jumpers. with the diagonal seam, which I can fold and will be folding on a tutorial on a tutorial video for you in the future. And back to this question. Thank you, Pinan Posset, for that. It may be that is one of the last questions of the day, but we'll squeeze in one more. We'll have to squeeze in one more. Last one is from the Sarah Blank, who's a friend of the show, who is responsible for the folding clothes video. Asked for it, and we will be doing another one of those if you'd like to see it. But also, if you don't tell me you won't see it, wouldn't like to see it, then I will do it anyway. If you came to a crossroads, would you go left or right, and why? I have a tendency to lean to the left. There's certain ways that my clothes fit me suggest that left is the way that my arrow will point. If things, if I have a discussion to be in, or if I have a direction to choose, then left often does prevail because my arrow, inside arrow, does point that way. My outside arrow points that way, and that's the way that my clothes fit. Tends to shove me that way, push me that way. So I think it would be left. I wouldn't know what was there yet because obviously I hadn't gone that way, and it is not always something you can trust. But your arrow, your inner arrow, or your personal arrow is something to take into the way that you choose decisions and choose directions, and that's what that is. But if there is a map that tells you to go right, then I would always go with that. If there is a man or woman or other with you, then they could be telling you to go right when you wanted to go left and you felt that you should go left. But never don't trust them, but do question them. Do ask them, why do you think it is right? Why do you think it's right? And they'll say a reason, possibly, and then you have to discuss that at length. But if you're in a car, you don't have much time, so it's something to be thinking with. Okay, so that's been another Like Your Lifestyle live stream. We will be coming back to you with another on the 4th of March. If you do have any questions in the meantime, do send them to me on Instagram or on YouTube, on my email, likeyourlifestylechannel@gmail.com, or do something else. Maybe make yourself some lunch. That's what I will do. So great to be with you, great to see you, and I wish that my hair had dried sooner, but that's not your fault, that's my fault. So see you when I do, and I'll see you later.